inside a famous museum in Rome, where a special FBI agent named John Hartley has just arrived. John is a man known for his sharp instincts and calm presence, but today, he's not here to admire the art. He's here because he received information that one of the world's most wanted thieves, Nolan Booth, is planning to steal a priceless artifact, a golden egg said to belong to Cleopatra herself. The museum's director doesn't believe him. He insists that the security system is top-notch, that no one could possibly break in. But John isn't so sure. He walks through the museum, scanning the cameras, checking the exhibits, and watching the visitors closely. Something feels off. Then, during his inspection, he notices something strange about the egg. He pours a little soda over it, and what happens next shocks everyone. The so-called priceless egg begins to dissolve. It's a fake. The real one has already been stolen. Suddenly, the museum alarms start blaring. People panic and start running in every direction. And that's when John spots him. Nolan Booth, the man everyone calls the world's second most wanted art thief. John doesn't hesitate. He starts chasing him through the museum. The chase turns into chaos. Nolan runs across the floor, slides over railings, and leaps from one platform to another. His parkour skills are incredible. Security guards try to block him, but he's too fast, too clever. John stays right behind him, determined not to lose him. For a brief moment, John manages to corner him, but Nolan pulls off a brilliant trick, confusing him and slipping away again. He jumps into a narrow pipe, sliding down like it's second nature, and vanishes into the streets of Rome. John follows, racing through the narrow, ancient alleys, but Nolan disappears. The thief is gone. 56 hours later, Nolan is celebrating his victory. He's in his luxurious apartment, drinking wine with one hand and holding the golden egg with the other, smiling like he owns the world. But his joy doesn't last long. Suddenly, the door bursts open. John and a team of armed officers walk in. They found him. Nolan is stunned. How did they track him down so fast? John calmly tells him the truth. Someone tipped them off. A thief known as the Bishop. She's the world's #1 art thief, and Nolan's biggest rival. She's been playing both sides, and now Nolan realizes he's been outsmarted. The stolen egg is safely recovered and handed over to Interpol. But before anyone can breathe easy, something unexpected happens. During the transfer, the real Bishop, disguised as an undercover agent, switches the real egg with a fake one right under everyone's noses. By the time they notice, it's too late. The next day, John's life falls apart. He's accused of helping the thieves. Evidence appears, an $8 million deposit in his name in a Swiss bank account. He swears it's not his, but no one believes him. His reputation, built over years of service, is destroyed. He's arrested and sent to a freezing maximum security prison in the mountains of Russia. To make things worse, his cellmate is none other than Nolan Booth, the very man he put behind bars. At first, both men can't stand each other, but soon they realize they have one thing in common. Bishop played them both. Nolan starts explaining the bigger picture. The golden eggs aren't just rare treasures, they're keys to a fortune. An Egyptian billionaire has promised a $300 million reward to anyone who can deliver all 3 eggs before his daughter's wedding. 2 have been found, but the third one's location is still a mystery. That's why Bishop betrayed everyone. She wants all 3 for herself soon. The 2 men are taken to meet the prison warden, but standing there, dressed in a guard's uniform, is none other than Bishop herself. She smirks and offers them a deal. She already has 1 egg and plans to steal the second. If Nolan helps her find the third, she'll give him 10% of the reward. Nolan laughs in her face and refuses. Bishop shrugs, unfazed, and walks away, saying only one thing: "I'll always be 2 steps ahead of you." John is furious at Nolan for rejecting her offer. "You just threw away our only chance to get out of here," he yells. But soon, both realize that if they want freedom, they'll have to work together. John wants to clear his name and catch Bishop. Nolan wants revenge, and maybe that $300 million prize. So they team up and start planning an escape. Their plan begins in the prison dining hall. Nolan suddenly stands up and shouts that John is an undercover FBI agent. The other prisoners turn their heads, and one massive inmate charges at John, starting a violent fight. The entire cafeteria erupts into chaos. Guards rush in to break it up, dragging both men out. John's furious until Nolan grins and shows him what he managed to steal during the fight: a key card from one of the guards. John can't help but smile. The plan is working. Later, as they prepare the next step, Nolan tells John about his father, a policeman who never showed him love or pride. "I just wanted his attention," Nolan says. And what gets a cop's attention more than a thief? That moment builds a strange bond between them. They're complete opposites, yet somehow they understand each other. They gather materials, soap, toothpaste, nitric acid, and create a makeshift bomb. When it goes off, the prison descends into chaos again. Guards scramble, alarms wail, and the two men rush to a loose stone in the wall that leads to an escape tunnel. They climb the icy walls under a storm of bullets. At one point, Nolan slips and almost falls off a frozen ledge, but John grabs him just in time. Together, they reach the roof where a helicopter is waiting. A guard nearby is distracted, humming along to Russian music. John knocks him out, and Nolan jumps into the chopper. But before they can take off, guards appear with rocket launchers. A missile is fired, hitting the bridge below them, but John narrowly survives, climbing into the helicopter just in time. Nolan fires back using the chopper's minigun, clearing a path, and they soar into the night sky. Free at last. Far away, Bishop watches everything unfold through surveillance footage. She sends a message to Interpol, letting them know that John and Nolan have escaped, smirking as she plans her next move. Meanwhile, the two fugitives meet Nolan's old friend, Tambwe, who provides them with a private plane. Nolan's sources have located the second egg. It's in Spain, inside the heavily guarded mansion of a notorious arms dealer. The mansion is like a fortress, protected by dozens of guards and nearly 100 security cameras. The egg is kept in a titanium vault half a meter thick. But Nolan has a plan. They'll use a deepfake video and a few clever tricks to fool the system. At night, the arms dealer hosts a grand party in his mansion. Wealthy guests fill the rooms, music plays, and John blends in, dressed like a rich guest, while Nolan pretends to be a waiter. Then John spots Bishop again. Elegant, confident, smiling at him across the room, before walking away. The arms dealer steps on stage to make a speech, giving John the distraction he needs to steal his phone. Neither of them realizes that Interpol agent Urvashi Das is also at the party, quietly observing everything. Nolan accidentally spills wine on John's clothes, creating a reason to leave for the bathroom. Inside, they hack the dealer's phone, stealing his password. With only 45 seconds between guard rotations, they rush through the corridors, reach the vault, and use the deepfake trick to open it. Inside lies a collection of priceless artifacts, and the shining second golden egg. Just as they grab it, the alarm blares. Security guards swarm the area. Agent Doss appears, pointing her gun at them. John reacts quickly, slamming the vault door shut to buy time. But then another voice speaks from the shadows. It's Bishop. She's already inside the vault. Now the three of them are face to face in a tight space. A brutal fight breaks out, John and Nolan against Bishop. She moves with precision and speed, dodging their attacks and striking back effortlessly. Then, the arms dealer bursts in, revealing the truth. He's been working with Bishop all along. John and Nolan are stunned. They're overpowered and captured. When they wake up, they're tied to chairs in the basement. The dealer demands to know the location of the third egg. Nolan lies, claiming it's hidden somewhere in Egypt. The dealer seems unsure, but doesn't press further. Then Bishop walks in, pretending to celebrate with him. She pours him a glass of champagne, smiling sweetly, but it's laced with a sedative. Moments later, he collapses, gasping for air. Bishop calmly takes the second egg from the vault and leaves, locking John and Nolan behind. When the dealer regains consciousness, he's furious. He starts shooting wildly. One of the bullets hits the ropes binding John and Nolan, freeing them. They rush out, only to find themselves in the middle of a bullfighting ring, surrounded by cheering crowds. A huge bull charges at them, its horns gleaming under the sun. Nolan panics, waving his arms like a matador, while John barely dodges the beast. The crowd cheers, thinking it's part of the show. Somehow, they both survive and escape through the narrow streets. That night, exhausted and bruised, they rest in an empty alley. John finally opens up about his past. His father was a thief, a man he once loved, and then came to hate when he abandoned him. That betrayal drove John to become an FBI agent, to fight the kind of people his father represented. Nolan listens quietly, understanding more than he expected. Then he reveals his own secret. He knows where the third egg is. After World War II, a German officer fled to Argentina carrying a suitcase full of treasure and a special watch. The watch contains a hidden code leading to Cleopatra's third egg. Years later, Nolan's father, a treasure hunter, found the watch and traced its clues to a secret Nazi bunker deep in the jungles of Argentina. Nolan has spent years piecing together the rest of the puzzle. Now, with everything finally clear, he and John set off through the dense, dangerous jungle. After a long journey through mud and traps, they reach the bunker. As they step inside, the lights flicker on, revealing a lost treasure from another era. Old Nazi gold, weapons, and at the center, the third golden egg, glowing under the dim light. Their eyes widen in awe, but before they can touch it, Bishop walks in. She's been following them the entire time. Moments later, Agent Dace and her SWAT team arrive, turning the quiet bunker into a war zone. Bullets fly, metal echoes, and chaos erupts. In the middle of the firefight, John, Nolan, and Bishop jump into an old military truck and speed away. But the road ends abruptly at a massive waterfall. The truck plunges off the edge and crashes into the river below. They all survive the fall, and Nolan emerges from the water clutching the egg. When he realizes John is missing, he dives back in to save him. But then comes the twist. John is fine. And the truth comes out. John Hartley was never really an FBI agent. He's been working with Bishop all along. The two of them aren't enemies. They're partners in love and in crime. Everything from the very beginning was part of their plan. They used Nolan to find the third egg. The betrayal stings. Nolan is tied to a tree, forced to watch as John and Bishop disappear into the jungle with all 3 eggs. Later, at a grand Egyptian wedding, the billionaire proudly presents Cleopatra's 3 golden eggs to the world. The guests applaud, but suddenly, Interpol agents storm in, led by Agent Das. They seize the eggs, arrest the billionaire, and even detain the bride. The music stops, replaced by screams and chaos. In a hidden corner, John and Bishop watch it all unfold, quietly smiling. They got what they wanted. Their $300 million. Without a word, they walk away. 6 months later, John and Bishop are living their best life aboard a luxury yacht in Italy, sipping wine and enjoying the sunset. But peace doesn't last. Suddenly, Nolan steps aboard, smiling confidently. He's tracked them down. He reveals that he's hacked their accounts and sent all their banking details to Interpol. Every cent of their stolen fortune is frozen. The tables have turned. Looks like I conned the con artists, Nolan jokes. But he doesn't stop there. He has a new plan for an even bigger heist, and he needs their help. John refuses at first, but Bishop knows they're broke. They share a glance. Maybe one last job wouldn't hurt. The 3 thieves stand together again, ready for the next adventure.